All right, ladies and gentlemen, my mic is good. I'm paying attention to the fact that my mic is unmuted this time. And we are ready for the next reading of Hunter x Hunter. Sorry for the delay. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to more Hunter x Hunter. In the last session we had of Hunter x Hunter, we were seeing Killua deal with numerous chimera, and then we saw Gon speaking to Melio, who is this chameleon chimera, who has this special Nen ability that allows him to basically erase his presence and hopes to use that to take down the king. Because the king essentially killed his foster father, who turns out to be Peggy, the penguin chimera that we've seen earlier on. And in their previous lives, he was Melio's foster father. So there's a personal stake in this. Then further in, we cut to Morel and Nove, who are dealing with some other chimeras, but Morel is dealing with Cheetu, who has recently returned in order to, bring down Morel and anyone else that wronged him in the last encounter. And Morel's dealing with him, and it seems like Morel's about to really reel him in, literally, until apparently Cheetu starts to learn a brand new ability on top of the one that he had already put Morel in. So, with volume 24, we actually have more chapters this time. Instead of us going from 249 to like 248 to 259, we're actually going all the way up until 260. So that makes for what? 12 chapters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 chapters this volume. Is it the same for the next one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, this one actually has more chapters this time. All right, let's get it started. Chapter number is going to be up here. Every single time I change one, I'll change the number so it can be consistent for all of you. Chapter 249. And remember, days are still going. The days are still going. We're now at 7 days before the selection. But Chapter 248, 6, Part 5. Okay, so we went from 7 to 6 days. We went from 7 to 6 days. Okay. Chapter 248, 6, Part 5. And Cheetu, let me do this. Make sure I'm prepared this time. Won't be as much coughing as it was last time because I had a heavy cold the last time. But Cheetu is holding what looks to be like a handheld crossbow with a lot of skull motifs and bat wings attached to it.
A crossbow and claws? For both close and long range.
And Morel's just looking at Cheetu. Mind you, Morel still has his smoke rope attached to his leg and Cheetu can't get rid of it. And Cheetu starts laughing.
Thanks to you, I made up this awesome new ability!
And Morel's ignoring him and is still reeling him in, just one-handed.
Hey, don't you know what this is? A crossbow! See? You sure you want to get any closer?
And then he takes aim and he aims at Morel. And Morel doesn't even get bothered by it. Cause Cheetu fires. He fires at Morel, and Morel doesn't get bothered because he just blocks it with his pipe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And then it just falls off of his pipe, and Cheetu's all like, "What?" Then Morel speaks up.
Dude, what's the point of having a weapon slower than your own legs?
Because this whole time, Cheetu has been faster than Morel, and Morel could only be on the defensive. But now he has a weapon that's slower than he is. So Morel's all like, this thing is slower than you. I'm not worried at all. But Cheetu's all like, oh.
Care to try out those claws too? It'll save me the trouble of closing in. I'll tell you why you're gonna lose.
And Morel just gets closer and closer.
'Cause you're a complete moron.
And then something snaps within Cheetu and he starts laughing. Shut up! And he tries to launch at Morel and stabs him through the chest.
Ha 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 ha! Die! Tagging me won't matter if you're Huh? This feels like smoke? No way!
Because Cheetu stabs into Morel, but it's just a smoke clone. Smoke clone jutsu. And then Morel's right behind him and he taps him on the back.
Gotcha. The battle goes on even while you sleep. You should have never taken your eyes off me. First,
Oh, and it's explaining what Morel just did the entire time.
First, Morel created a smoke clone in front of himself. He then covered himself with grass-colored smoke and approached Cheetu from the opposite direction.
And in this instance, we leave Cheetu's domain expansion, and we're now back into the main city.
Huh?
A safe return. So, wanna keep going?
Nah.
Good. Smartest thing you've ever said. Then it wouldn't hurt to tell me now, would it? What would have happened to me if I hadn't caught you within the time limit?
It doesn't matter. If I get caught even once, I can never use that ability again. That was the ability's condition.
Well, sorry about that.
Huh? I don't care. I'll just get another ability from Sir Shao.
Shao. What is it? Shao Poof? Shao Poof?
I won't lose next time. You just wait.
And then Cheetu just starts running off.
Just lay off already. Can't I get a break? So easy to deal with. Wish there were more like him.
And then Morel starts making his way through the city.
So someone above him, probably one of the royal guards, has the power to develop others' abilities. The odds against us will get worse the further the sorting goes. Gon and Killua did the right thing.
And then someone chimes in for Morel.
That you, Nove?
Come over to Area B. And then he makes his way there. And then Nove opens up a gateway in a wall and has him come inside. And there's... Oh, snap! Nove got the surveillance chimera! We've got fresh ants, a lobster, and a wolf.
Are they tough?
If we knew, this wouldn't be so hard. Both sides are watching and waiting for now.
A stalemate. Fine with us. We want to buy time.
It's probably because I took this guy out. Those dragonflies were working as surveillance cameras. Yeah, that same chimera that made it difficult for Killua to leave lasting killing blows and allowed some of the chimeras to survive an encounter with him was specifically because of this dragonfly chimera. Those dragonflies were working as surveillance cameras. Ah, and his name was Flutter.
Flutter.
Respond!
He's not coming.
He's not coming.
We gotta change tactics. We can't find them without Flutter.
And this is both the lobster and the wolf. And then we have Leol.
He's gone when I really need him. Should I call it off? No, I can't. I can't let Pito think less of me. We're going back.
We're going back.
Hey, hold on a second. Fine, I'll work it out.
And then Leol takes out this little beeper. IOU dispenser, rental pod.
Is that your ability?
Yeah, it has a search function. Don't tell anyone. I'm only showing you because I trust you guys. Yeah, right. As if I tell you the truth.
Then we have an explanation as to what Leo's ability actually is. Leo's rental pod enables him to temporarily borrow the target's abilities by putting them in his debt. He must fulfill 2 conditions. 1, see the ability or know its name. 2, do a favor for the target. This thing wanted to sneak out so quickly. It wanted to sneak out. 1. See the ability or know its name. 2. Do a favor for the target, confirming by saying something like, "You owe me one," or "This won't come free," and have him respond affirmatively. Once fulfilled, the data is automatically saved in the dispenser with the name, ability, and number of rentals recorded. The data is deleted once the target dies.
Got it. Flutter's all right.
Rental is for 1 hour per use. The target cannot use his ability during this period. His basic nen is unaffected, though.
He's not responding because he's knocked out or too far away. He's not dead yet anyway. Looks like I could make contact with him.
And Leol is smiling.
We'll move forward once we find out where the guy in the suit is.
We'll lure away the others while you fight him one-on-one.
Can you handle it by yourself?
Sure. I wouldn't make you guys do anything risky. In this way, you won't see my ability.
And then both the lobster and the wolf start to move away from Leol.
I'll make this succeed. At any cost.
And he hits a button on his little pod, and it says print ticket.
I can't waste time here.
And then he does it, and a ticket prints out. The ability is activated by taking the issued ticket and ripping it up.
They're here.
Not until I make the king owe me one. Begin the search.
And Leo basically does Flutter's ability and has dragonflies flying all around the environment. And then we cut back to the king.
Why? I don't understand, and I don't like it. My rhythm is the one disrupted. It should be an unbearable indignity. I do not know why, but I find myself frustrated, yet I enjoy it at the same time. My skill in self-analysis is not yet refined.
And the king has made his way back to play another game with this girl.
Did she not rest?
Well,
I find it extremely vexing.
And the girl is asleep, and she's got her mouth open. She's just drooling all over herself while she's sitting there asleep.
So vile. No shred of class or intellect. How do those beautiful plays, those paragons of logic, flow from her like water from a fountain?
Wake up. Time to begin.
Yes, sir.
King 951.
And then the king doesn't say anything. And the girl is, her eyes are open and she's looking because she's blind, so she can't see. And then he says,
Say, shall we make a bet on this game?
And that's the end of chapter 248, onwards to 249. Chapter, I was about to say days, insert number here because Sakamoto days. Chapter 249, part 6.
A bet? Shoot, sir? A bet, sir?
Right. If you win, I will give you anything you desire.
Anything I desire? Anything.
But if you lose, I will take your left arm.
And then it suddenly gets silent over the room, and mind you, it's still raining outside.
Greed and fear disrupt human rhythm. Greed will cloud the eyes, and fear will shrink courage.
Left arm. Left arm. What to do?
Why are you agonizing?
Well, what if I offer you what I always bet instead of me left arm?
What? What is it?
Me life, sir.
And then the king's eyes widen.
If I lose, I'd like to offer me life, but I don't want to offend.
I don't understand. Explain yourself.
Well, I really can't do anything but Gungi. Basically, Gungi is my only way to get by. But even pro players only earn peanuts. Only when they become world champions do they get a substantial reward. To represent the country, one must win in a grueling tournament. So losing even a single game results in failure. I come from a family of 12, and I'm the main breadwinner. But if I lose even once, I instantly turn into a burden to me family. There's a saying among players that a Gungi king is a mere mortal once he's lost. If I lose, I'm worthless.
And the king doesn't say anything at all.
Oh, it's okay. It's something me parents always told me. So I decided today I become a pro that I would forfeit me life if I ever lost to Gungi.
King still hasn't said anything.
But then that causes a problem.
Which is?
The moment I lose, me life becomes worthless. So I would be offering you a piece of rubbish. That is very bad manners.
Very bad manners. Then the king doesn't say anything.
No matter. Is there anything you want if you win?
Well, I've never thought of anything besides Gungi. I'll think of it after I win.
Note that she just said, I'll think of what I want after I win. She already knows she's going to win.
I'll think of it after I win.
Right. No fear or greed.
And then the king starts laughing.
Huh?
Your life, you say. It seems I was the one not taking this seriously enough. I never considered that you might choose my own life as your reward. Sire, silence.
Your life? God forbid, sir! I would never!
I know. This is a personal matter. No more betting. That was imprudent of me.
Oh, it's not.
And then there's a spray of blood and it hits her. Because the king tore his own arm off.
Let this be my apology.
Sire! Oh no, what have you done?
Huh?
And then Shawapoof? Thuthuyupi? I don't know these guards' names. I don't know them, please. I'm sorry. But the one that with the butterfly wings tears his sleeve off. We must attend to it. Please, come.
I'll keep playing.
What happened?
It's your turn. Play.
Did you break your own arm?
Sire, allow me to stop the bleeding. And then all of a sudden, the king smacks the butterfly chimera, smacks him away and sends him flying into the wall behind him.
Don't make me repeat myself. I'll keep playing. I said there would be no more breaks. Do you dare add to my humiliation?
Let me summon Neferpitou. I'm sure you would be able to play even while he operates on your arm. That's the biggest concession I can make. If you would refuse even that, then you should chop my head off yourself.
And Gungi isn't saying anything.
Fine. Come closer. I will put you out of your misery. It's your turn. Play.
No.
And then the king loses that smile he had, and he's looking at the girl.
I will not play until your arm is better.
And while she says this, still kind of speckled in blood from the king puts his tail that has like a needle point on it directly at her throat.
Don't make me repeat myself. Play.
No, I refuse. If you would kill me and Gungi.
Why, you... Call Pito!
Yes, sir.
Then we cut back to the city with Morel and Nove.
There's no doubt about it. All the puppets are gone. Did they go back to sorting?
No, that seems unlikely. We still have the capital surrounded. The royal guards wouldn't do that if the king's safety was their top priority. We should assume something serious happened, perhaps to the king himself.
Our chance has finally come. One that we might never get again. A break-in. Breaking into the palace.
See, here's the thing. The letter that's facilitating, the fact that it's raining outside, it's going shh, but it also looks like it's an A above breaking in, so I thought it was a break-in. But
breaking into the palace. It could be a trap.
I don't think so. They wouldn't do anything that poses even a tiny risk to the king.
They might if it were the king's orders.
Perhaps. In any case, they've withdrawn their radar. We'll get as close as we can while we can. I have to make an exit near the palace, or else our plan cannot succeed. We have to take this risk sooner or later, and the time is now.
And while he's saying this, a dragonfly made up of Leol's IOU ability is floating overhead.
There. Found them. I guess Cheetu failed. They're splitting up. Let's go. We'll go after the guy with the pipe instead.
And mind you, Leol is still leading the wolf and the lobster. And then Morel goes,
Don't die.
Same to you.
And that is the end of chapter 249. Onwards to chapter 250. I was doing some rearranging on my desk, so apologies if the camera positioning looks just a tad bit different. Chapter 256, Part 7. And we get Neferpito, and Neferpito's summoned Nenbeast, which looks like some sort of weird nurse floating above him. And Pito starts operating on the king's arm, while he continues to play Gungi.
How long will it take?
2 or 3 hours to fix it completely.
And you can't use the puppets or N in the meantime?
Nah, this ability has really poor mileage.
Since it requires a lot of your energy, I will be the lookout during the procedure. My N is nowhere near yours, but this is too important to leave to anybody else.
And then we get Nove, who's on the outskirts of the palace, and he's doing his best to sense.
No trace that they're using N. Luckily, the rain makes for low visibility. The sun will set soon. When it gets dark, I will become one with the night, and enemy aura will seem even brighter. I must be careful. It's pointless if I'm caught.
And as he runs down this hill, he starts covering himself in, leaves.
I can go in and out to the mansion as I please, but the others must use the only exit. If the enemy lays an ambush outside the exit will be done for. I need 3 exits in different places around the palace, each closer than the last. Then I'll make several clusters of entrances far away where we can keep watch. We'll choose whichever is the most advantageous. When the time comes, we'll make the decision which is the best room to enter and exit. We'll seem to suddenly appear before their eyes and use the surprise blitz to separate the king from the royal guards. Our respective battles will begin, as it shows Chairman Netero, Knuckle, Shoot, Killua, and Gon, and it shows the royal guards and the king. We only need to win 1 battle. We can sacrifice 3, as long as we kill the king. And then he continues to make his way closer and closer to the palace. I would have been inside their end already at this point. I feel more dead than alive. But I'm still too far. Even the furthest exit must be within the palace grounds. Carefully, but as fast as I can.
And he's just doing an army crawl going across the ground.
Should I wait until the sun sets? Will the situation last that long? I have to go. If Neferpito's N is reactivated, any approach will be impossible. Even if I fail, there will be other ways. Go, without fear. Closer!
And he gets closer and closer. And then we cut into the palace. There are currently 3 humans in the palace who are not kept for food. One is the young Gungi player, another is Ming, and the third is Director Bizref. He was the one truly in control of this country, working from behind the scenes. Negotiations with other countries and all communications between essential national organizations go through him. He was the only human allowed to stay by the king's side because there was no replacement. And it has this dude with a swept comb-over look, and he has ridiculously large eyebrows, but very small, beady eyes. And he's in like a fancy pinstripe suit. There are no human sentries even outside the palace. Normal soldiers are totally ineffective against Nen, and the royal guards decided that keeping them would only create opportunities for enemy infiltration. Cheetu, who just returned, is the only squadron leader currently here, along with 6 lesser ants. Therefore, there are currently only 3 humans besides those kept for food, and 11 ants within the palace. The lower-ranked ants were favorites of the squadron leaders, and had nothing to do with guarding the king. There was no longer any strict loyalty between the king and the squadron leaders. Yo, Blue Blur! It's good to see you. We are currently on chapter 250 of volume 24 of Hunter x Hunter. You have to pardon me if I clear my throat sometimes. How's it going? It's going fantastically. I hope your day is fine. Won't have a mishap like I had the last one where I forgot my mic was turned off and I read like 7 chapters in a row. So we won't have any of those issues. The lower-ranked ants were favorites of the squadron leaders and had nothing to do with guarding the king. There was no longer any strict loyalty between the king and the squadron leaders. Self-interest was the only reason keeping them there. The royal guards know this, so the delegated duties are all inconsequential. Therefore, lookout duty would never be left to others. Nove has no way of knowing that, of course, but right now is the best and last time for him to sneak in. And then it cuts to Bizref. Yeah, it cuts to Bizref, and he's just smoking.
They let me live, but I can't do this all by myself anymore.
And apparently he's been smoking so much that he has an ashtray just full of snuffed out cigarettes that are just literally overpiling.
I have to convince the ants to let me hire at least 3 secretaries or clerks, or I'll die from overwork.
And then he's smoking, and then he looks over at a laptop, and he starts clicking, and he starts typing, and then someone sends him a message.
I'm sending you a list. Reply, fresh meat.
And then it cuts to his mouth, and he starts licking his lips. And he's clicking through a whole bunch of photos, and quite a few of them are women. And then one of them is very, very, very attractive, and it catches his attention. Reading along too? Nice. You have to excuse me if I describe what's going on, even if you're reading along, because not everyone has access to the manga or wants to pull up the manga itself alongside. So, it's something that came up during one of my old read-throughs, but it's just something I do just in case people don't have access to it. But he starts typing away as he goes,
I'll take numbers 2, 16, 79, 103, 119, as arranged.
There it is. We've got a nibble. Palm.
Oh, it's Palm! It's Palm! Ah, you're fine. You're good. You're good.
We've got a nibble, Palm.
And it's Palm. That's the face he sees. So Palm, okay. I'm so used to Palm looking like she doesn't take care of her nails. She doesn't take care of her hair. She's in evil clothes. And here she looks literally like the epitome of what you would see from a stereotypical secretary of a business or something. Robbie, it's good to see you. How has life been treating you? It's been a while since you have last read this with you. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. You know me, I'm always here.
We've got a nibble, Palm.
And that's the end of chapter 250. Onwards to chapter 251. Ravi, this idea of making sure that when I'm doing these read-throughs, that the chapter number is right here is literally one of the best ideas that you guys have ever given me. Actually, you know what? There's something that I need to do, because this camera needs to be raised just a bit more. But it also seems a little bit off kilter. Hold on. Needs to straighten it up. That seems fine. That seems fine. Hold on. There we go. All right. I'll probably adjust this later on at some point, but I just wanted to be properly adjusted so that I'm here. So I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah. Yeah, this feels better. Yeah. When I point up here, it's like right there. Okay, good. Good. Okay. I just had to double check because something about the way my camera was positioned was bothering me. But chapter 251, 6, part 8. And it cuts to Nove again.
I'm finally here, on the grounds. The central staircase is still over 100 meters away.
And mind you, Nove has made his way over to the big giant trees that happen to have multiple people housed inside.
Giant fruit on weird trees. About 500 per tree.
Yeah, not too shabby. I had to put it in the right position, but I also need to put some posters and stuff over on this side because this wall has been bare for years. Conversation for another time, though. Back to Hunter x Hunter.
Giant fruit on weird trees. About 500 per tree with 10 trees. They sorted 500,000 people per day with a 1% survival rate. Killua's interference meant it was only carried out for 1 day, so it adds up. These 5,000 are the sorted human cocoons. They'll hatch into Nen weapons and attack mankind as the king's pawns.
And then Nove starts drawing like this circle in the air.
Neferpitou is likely a manipulator. They must be planning to control these soldiers to invade the rest of the world. We won't let that happen. First, the furthest exit. Set.
And he created the furthest exit outside of the palace.
Next, I have to get closer. Inside the palace entrance.
And it shows the front door of the palace, and he keeps going.
It's getting a lot darker now.
And he creates another exit.
All's well. No lookouts. I bet the inside is minimally staffed. I can do this. I've got this far. We need to distract the royal guard's attention, if only for a split second. The throne room is on the 3rd floor. The 1st floor is too far. The best place would be the central staircase on the 2nd floor.
And he makes his way inside of the palace, which is very massive, mind you. And he's looking around and he's keeping an eye out. He's keeping an eye out for other people.
Should I make one here just in case? No, this is hardly any different from the outside. I have to at least get to the central staircase. Preferably up the stairs on the 2nd floor.
And while he's about to run around the corner, a chimera ant comes around the corner directly in front of him. And they both see each other. And then Nove claps his hands together immediately. Window to the void. Scream! And it's literally like this ethereal bind. I don't know how to describe it. Like this tube or this long ethereal. What is the right word to describe this? It's basically like this void space he stretches out, and it hits the Chimera in the head, and he closes his fist going, close! And instantly, the Chimera's head disappears from its body. And then Nove immediately catches the body, and his heart is beating, hoping that no one else was behind him, but all is quiet. Were there others? If they saw me, I'm dead. I'd have to retreat. And he has his hand on the floor because he's waiting. He's waiting to see if he needs to retreat or if someone's coming around. Nobody's coming, so he was on his own. And Nove takes his shoes off because they have blood on them so that he doesn't make tracks throughout the palace. But yeah, he takes his shoes off and he peers around the corner and he sees the central staircase. And then he hides behind the staircase, like to the side of it. And mind you, the central staircase is actually massive. Why would you even want stairs this big in your palace? Mind you, the Ming dude, the dude that was in charge of this palace, the human dude that was in charge the first time, why would you even need stairs this big? Why would you need stairs this wide? Do you have 10 people walking down in a row next to each other? And this is for an entire crowd of people to walk down all at once? Why would you even need stairs this big? But he runs to the side of the stairs, and his heart starts beating harder and harder and harder and harder, and he starts sweating profusely as he goes, I can't go any closer. I just can't. Because there's this overwhelming presence that is coming out from the stairs. If I do, they'll kill me. I've never seen such aura. It's as if it's full of everything sinister in the world. It's not that I fear death. Not anymore. What I fear most is that those things lurking above me would go to great lengths to wring out any information I have on the king in the cruelest way possible. And he's just thinking of Pito literally cutting his body apart. If caught, I would have no way to resist. That's what this aura is telling me. This is as far as I can go. And then, all of a sudden, he hears a sound, and he hears cars pulling up. And it's multiple trucks with trailers pulling up. And that's the end of chapter 251. Onwards to chapter 252. Pretty good, I'd say. Chapter 252. 6, part 9. And then the cars pull up to the entry point of the palace, and that same dude that was there with Palm, that same dude that Morel and Nove were talking to before this whole operation went underway, he gets out. And he goes up to an intercom, and it goes, "You have the meat?" "Yes, as arranged, sir." And then the garage opens up and allows the trucks to go through. And then we have Nove. "Freezer trucks heading to the underground hangar. Must be a food delivery. If Marcos is correct, it also contains living women. Tributes not for the king, but for the lecherous director Bizef. If our strategy worked, Palm is among them." Yeah, Marcos, that's his name. And then Nove gets back to the outskirts of the palace, and he just keeps running. And then he hides behind a bush, and he's breathing heavily. This dude was put through the ringer just from the atmosphere itself. "I'm far enough away. I should be safe." And then he starts dragging his fingers across the ground, and he's shivering. Mind you, he left his shoes. He left his shoes, but he's shivering. Not because it's cold and raining, but because of the amount of fear he just felt just being even remotely near that staircase.
Palm, don't get in over your head. I managed to plant my exits, so even if you don't succeed, the plan can work. If you get caught, you'll die. Such vicious aura. My spirit was broken just by seeing the aura. Gon, Killua, you've seen it too. You were even closer than I was, even touched it. Then how? How are you able to face it again? How can you still fight?
Mind you, this is someone who partners up with Morel, and Morel is just chill, even in the face of all these other chimeras. Nove is literally broken just by being within the presence of the aura of the royal guards. He don't want to fight no more. This is like Martin fighting Thomas Hitman Haynes in that one episode of Martin. And after getting knocked out of the ring and put through a wall, he's all like, Gina, I don't want to fight no more. This is literally Nove.
How can you still fight? To save Kite? To save humanity? How do you keep going? Palm, please, don't push your luck. Don't get it over your head. If you're caught, it's all over. I can't go back in there again. Palm.
And then we cut to the inside of the palace, and all of these containers are being dropped off. And we have Bizev here.
Leave truck 4 here. Yes, sir. If you'll excuse us, sir.
And then all the other trucks drive off except for truck number 4.
Now then.
And he gets in the truck and he drives off. And then he gets out of the truck after driving some time. And he puts in a code inside of this one garage.
The Southeast Underground Hangar in Area D. My own private paradise where no one can bother me.
And then he pulls into this place. And then after pulling into this place, he opens up the back of the trailer. And it has the 5 women inside of this trailer.
Come on out. No need to worry. Starting the day, this is where you'll work.
And it looks like a very ritzy Stepford Wives, every house looks the same type of environment. Inside of this one particular underground hangar. And we have multiple women here, including Palm.
I prepared private rooms for you. You'll get anything you need within reason. You can do whatever you want, except try to escape. Your only job is to follow my orders.
And it has all 5 of these women here, including Palm.
You will respond promptly to my pages, and come to me as fast as you can.
Yes, Director.
Very good.
And Bizev is looking around, and he points at one woman and goes,
You, come with me. Everyone else, wait in your rooms.
Yes, sir.
And then he goes with this woman to one of the houses. And then some of them are speaking amongst themselves.
We made it. We made the cut. We caught the director's fancy.
And while these 2 people are happy, Palm is silent.
I have to slip out of here, somehow, and look upon the king and the royal guards with my own eyes.
Once Palm has seen a person with her own eyes, she can observe them with her crystal ball at any time. With this ability, the hunters will be able to check on the king and the royal guards, enabling them to make critical decisions at crunch time without second-guessing themselves.
Only one exit. I can't get out without Bizev.
A crucial mission, for this would greatly increase their chances of success.
And Palm just grips on her arm.
What's most important is not succeeding at all costs. But should I fail, if I'm caught, I must end my life quickly.
And that is the end of chapter 252. Onwards to chapter 253. We're making good time with this, mainly because I've been paying attention. Chapter 253, 6, Part 10.
Not knowing your way around just cost you. You ran right into a dead end. And into an underground chapel. Too good to be true.
And we have Morel, who's right here with Leol.
This is used as an emergency bomb shelter. The perfect place for you to die a violent death. You'll have to do your last rites by yourself. I'm an atheist.
And then Morel just goes,
Always optimistic, aren't you? We'll see who's really being cornered. I'll show you.
And then Morel starts breathing out a whole bunch of smoke within this chapel.
Cheetu told me you can form that into lots of stuff. So he led me here fully aware. Works for me. A guy who thinks all is going according to plan will show off his ability like there's no tomorrow. I've yet to meet anyone with a more flexible ability than my Deep Purple.
And then Leol starts charging up with an N. And he pulls out his IOU pod.
I feel it tingling up my spine. The moment opponents showcase each one's abilities. It's addictive. Yeah, so it may be wiser to attack before he shows his ability. But that's not how a man fights.
And that's not how Goku or Vegeta fights. That is that Saiyan pride we're talking about. But then, to Morel's surprise, apparently Leol put something in his ears. Yeah, put something in his ears.
What are you doing? Willingly restricting one of your senses? Ever heard of the band Black Planet? Their second album is the coolest. The 12 songs form a story. At the end, you're left with the feeling that you just read a good novel. Yeah, I know. And the best thing is, it's exactly 60 minutes long. Great album.
And he's literally, so it's not just him putting some stuff in his ears, he's putting some AirPods literally into his ears so he can listen to some music. And then he takes out that same little pod, that IOU pod, has a ticket, and he tears it.
Uh-oh. It's hate to say it, but I agree.
Oh, wait. No, Leo goes,
Begin rental.
and then he rips up the ticket.
Hate to say it, but I agree. Uh-oh. It's hard to fight someone with the same taste as mine.
And then Leo gets powered up even further as they both prepare to fight. And he creates what appears to be like a skewer for cooking hot dogs and a big old surfboard with flame patterns.
An ability that activates only on rainy days. Tube, surf's up!
And then there's a rumbling. There's a rumbling. Not the rumbling, but there's a rumbling.
My ability calls the ocean!
And from behind him, from beneath him, a giant cascade of water starts to fill up the entire room. And Morel starts to get swept up in it.
Whoa! What do you think of my big wave? It'll swallow up your lame smoke.
And when Leo gets close, he slashes Morel across the chest with that hot dog skewer.
Hoo-hoo! The water dulls your moves. Like the taste of my board? You'll die a quicker death if you stay still. That's not yours. That is my friend's ability.
And then Morel starts filling up the area with even more smoke, including basically creating this solid structure underneath him so he can stand on.
He made a boat out of smoke, so you can ride on top of it too.
And then Morel just goes, huh! And he slashes a portion of the wave from underneath Leol, but it doesn't do anything as Leol just rides the wave out.
Ha! You think that could tame my wave? I said that's not your ability!
And Morel swipes at Leol again.
This is one of my original moves.
As Leol starts spinning on the water with the tip of his board.
Vortex! Maelstrom!
And by spinning, he causes this big, giant, basically winding rope of water to swirl around in the direction of Morel. And Morel gets swept under.
The current! I can't tell up from down. I can't move at all. I immobilize my prey by sucking them into the whirlpool. Here I go, and finish them off from above with the harpoon.
Okay, it's a harpoon. The way it looked, like how small the prongs were, I honestly thought it was a hot dog skewer. Please forgive me. It's a harpoon. That fits more with the sea theme. He's not riding on the waves with his own custom Nen surfboard and then attacking people with a hot dog grill skewer. It's a harpoon. My bad.
A throw of my harpoon at sonic speed can even penetrate a whale that's in the deep sea. Eat this!
And while he's above the whirlpool, Morel's gone.
What? He's gone? Impossible! The whirlpool should have kept him trapped! There's no way to escape!
And then, while he's on top of the water, he sees Morel, who's just above the waves. And Leo's looking at him like,
how'd you do that? How'd you do it? I simply exhaled. I'm confident that I have the biggest lung capacity in the world. He used his breath as jet propulsion to blow himself out of the whirlpool.
First of all, can we just talk about that for a second? You breathe so hard that you literally were able to launch yourself out of the pool of a whirlpool by simply breathing out and propelling yourself. How strong are your lungs if you were able to push yourself out of the underwater currents, which, frankly, not many humans are capable, if any at all, are capable of escaping from because of the pulling power of it. You just blew your breath and you went outside the whirlpool? Okay. I'm gonna let you have it, Morel. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let it go.
He used his breath as jet propulsion to blow himself out of the whirlpool. Now, it's my turn.
And that is the end of chapter 253. Onwards to chapter 254. I'm remembering certain things about this fight. And I want to say that if this is going the way I remember it, then this was easily one of my favorite fights out of Hunter x Hunter. Against the Chimeras, this was easily one of my favorite fights. But onwards to chapter 254. Chapter 254, 6, part 11.
Your turn? You don't get any turns. You'll only get swallowed by my waves. There are 3 things I learned in this exchange. Your ability is one that uses other people's abilities somehow. And your headphones are just for show, either a good luck charm or you're receiving orders from someone else. If he's increasing risk by limiting his hearing to upgrade his ability, he shouldn't be able to hear me. And the third? Time you have left on this earth. That tube ability belonged to a hunter called Grotchan. He was helping to exterminate chimera ants, so you must have defeated him. For taking his ability, you deserve to die 1,000 deaths. Your life ends today!
And Leo's just smiling at him, looking at him, going,
Not only are you one-sided, but you got it all wrong. It's legitimate self-defense to fight off guys who come to hunt me down. Besides, I'm just borrowing the ability. Just borrowing it, huh? That's a typical excuse for a thief. Well, I don't care if you believe me or not. I won his ability, but it's more important to beat him. For you and I, the only thing that matters is getting rid of your enemies, right?
And as he says this, the water he's sitting on top of starts to get bigger and bigger.
Like I said, you don't get any turns.
And he creates this massive tidal waves that easily eclipse Morel in size.
Tsunami! Heavy pounder!
And it's a tsunami. It's just a big old giant tsunami as it is about to hit Morel. And then Morel breathes in heavily.
A wall of water can only swallow you in this sealed chamber. Just try to get out of this one.
And Morel is swept up in the water, apparently, and the entire area is just filled with even more water, and it shows Morel getting whipped around in all of this.
Can you even come up? Which will it be? Your head split in two by my board, or being gored by my harpoon? Either way, the next time you show your stupid face will be your last!
And Leol is just whipping around this whirlpool. But Morel hasn't shown up.
It's taking a while. Did he drown? No, he was confident he could hold his breath. It could take 10 or 20 minutes. Wait, if he has the biggest lung capacity in the world, could he stay underwater as long as a whale?
And mind you, all these whipped up waves he's created have started to subside. And then there's some bubbling of air from a different spot.
There he is! Stay right there! I'll get you!
And then some more bubbles start to pop up in a different spot.
Over there, too? And here? And there?
And there's bubbles popping up all over this entire area.
Air bubbles everywhere! If he formed his smoke into a bunch of hoses, I won't be able to pinpoint his location.
And he thinks that Morel is underwater, laying down on the ground, creating this giant tube network of hoses that'll pop up in every direction to make him think that he's at these spots. As smart as that would be, I don't think Morel's doing that.
Hey, how long are you gonna stay at the
Oh, wait.
If he formed his smoke into a bunch of hoses, I won't be able to pinpoint his location. Hey, how long are you gonna stay at the bottom? If you think I'd give up and deactivate this. No, wait. The bubbles are decoys. He's escaped. The stairs to the surface are like a labyrinth, but he could hold his breath long enough to swim out. I can't let him get away. I told Welfin not to interfere, so I could hog the glory.
But then all of a sudden, Leo gets hit by something.
I feel dizzy, and my chest hurts. Can it be poison?
And then Leo falls. Leo falls off of his board and gets in the water.
The board's gone. I'm too unstable to keep it activated.
And he starts sinking under the water.
I can't breathe. The water isn't receding, even though the ability was deactivated. It's because we're underwater. I'm screwed. No, not good. It was only supposed to seem like I was the cornered one. He was supposed to be the one cornered. But was it actually me?
And while he's sinking, and more and more air starts to leave his lungs.
Am I going to die here?
And while his eyes are starting to get redder, he sees Morel. he sees Morel down at the bottom, and he has indeed created a big old network of tubes that reach up to the surface. And Morel's just chilling.
So, he was using the smoke as a hose. But what poison did he use?
And Morel's just chilling there after breathing in all this free air. Like, he's just fine. And he's just breathing in calmly.
That didn't take long. What you inhaled was deadly poison, but it's also a common element in the air. Carbon dioxide.
Mind you, Morel obviously is thinking this to himself because she can't speak underwater. Carbon dioxide, CO2. Living things breathe in air, take in oxygen, and breathe out waste products, including carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide comprises only about 0.003% of the atmosphere, but as the concentration increases, it quickly becomes toxic. At 1%, respiration and blood circulation are affected. At 5%, it causes symptoms such as headache, heart palpitations, and an increase in blood pressure. At 20%, death can occur within seconds. Morel kept consuming the oxygen in the sealed church, converting it into carbon dioxide at an extraordinary rate.
My attacks began even before yours. If what he said was true, Grachan should get his ability back now.
And Morel just casually swims out. He just makes his way in, he swims out. And then we cut back to the rain outside, and we cut back to the chamber where Biznef is, and it shows Biznef laying on a bed in nothing but some drawers with a whole bunch of cameras around him, so you can kind of see what they mean when he says he was lecherous and why he decided to take that one woman to the building by himself. And it shows Palm. And Biznef is just fast asleep. He's sleeping it off. But Palm is there, and she goes, and she spits in his direction, going,
Now I'll be free for a few hours. In the meantime, I must see the ants with my eyes. I've already watched Bizef's I've already watched Bizef's actions and learned how to get out of here. If I go missing, he can't tell anyone since he was hiding what he was doing from the royal guards.
And she starts putting in passcodes and making her way up to the elevator that leads to the top floor of the actual palace itself.
They are up there.
And she's making her way through the palace. And that's the end of chapter 254. Onwards to chapter 255. Yeah, that fight with Morel against Leol, and how Leol was boasting about his ability, and Morel's all like, I already know what I'm about to do to you. So I'm just going to let you do what you do. And I'm just going to breathe out every bit of oxygen and allow carbon dioxide to kill you off. Morel was never in any danger to begin with. Because as soon as his opponent filled up the room, all he had to do was just like, basically, let me just steal the very thing you need to breathe out of this entire environment, and I'll just chill. I'll just be chilling over here by myself. And he just allowed Leol to poison himself to death. But onwards to chapter 255, 5 part 1 to 2 part 1. So we are going from day 5 all the way to day 2. Already. Let me brighten it up just a little bit here. Yeah, it was a little bit too dark. Sorry. My camera's notch was just a little bit too dark. I didn't mean for it to be that dark. My bad, everybody. Chapter 255, 5 part 1 to 2 part 1. And we cut to Killua. And we have Killua finally waking up because Hikago brought him there. Hey, how do you feel?
Octopus, where am I? How long was I out?
Stop calling me octopus! You slept for 2 whole days, man. This is a back alley hospital for humans. It's frequented by anti-government activists and the mafia.
2 days? I gotta hurry.
Hey, you'll open up your wounds!
I gotta continue with the plan.
But you were hovering at death's door just a second ago. At least rest for...
No. You awake.
Oh, you awake? You don't need grave if you die here. Organs, skin, bones, all sold off. Nothing to put in coffin.
Mind you, this person is the words are put up this way. I hope you don't. Please don't take this as me making fun of it or trying to perpetrate a stereotype. But it's in the manga. It's literally in the manga. This person speaking this way. So, apologies in advance.
You don't need grave if you die here. Organs, skin, bones, all sold off. Nothing to put in coffin.
Yeah, well, now I get to be discharged.
After you pay bill. Bed, blood transfusions, IV, drugs, antiseptics, stitches, etc. Total 1.8 million Jenny. We take our body part if you can't pay.
I don't have my wallet. I'll wire it to you later.
No idiot believe that. You stay until you get someone to bring money.
I don't have time for that. Let me borrow your phone.
Cost 10,000 Jenny per minute. We don't take local currency here, but we exchange 500,000 pale for 1 Jenny.
1,000 times the going rate? Just shut up or go away.
And then Killua gets on the phone.
Hey, it's me.
Killua! Where are you? Are you okay? What happened?
Tell you later. I got hit pretty bad and had to go to the hospital.
Well, I'm glad you're okay now.
I'll be back soon.
You pay!
What's up on your end?
And mind you, this nurse is behind Killua, just telling him,
You pay now!
I'm just saying, this is how these characters are written on the pages.
I'll be back soon.
You pay!
What's up on your end?
We've made a new friend. He's totally hitting it off with Knuckle. We have a plan that might even take down the king. I want to discuss it with you as soon as possible.
Uh-huh. I need you to wire money to an account. Once that's done, I can join you within the day.
But your buddy...
And then Killua takes off the clothes that were on him. And it shows his very toned body for a young kid.
The wounds are almost all healed. Already?
And then Killua is just flexing his arms. And mind you, it shows numerous points on his body where he got skewered. Yeah, where he got skewered by those needlefish. And then he starts stretching and he cracks his back. He just cracks his back and goes,
good to go.
Okay, payment confirmed. You go now.
And then Killua just books it.
All right.
And then Ikao goes, just look at him, bewildered. And then Killua's moving forward, and then he goes,
What's wrong? Let's go.
Huh?
I'll introduce you to my friends.
Oh, but...
And Killua's looking kind of confused and goes,
Fine. You don't have to come. Then I'll just thank you for your help.
Well, I mean, is it okay for me to go? It's just that I'm...
What's your problem? I guess I was the only one who thought we were pals already.
Are you sure? It's okay for me to go?
It's only a matter of you coming or not!
Yeah, I'll go!
and then Killua's looking at him.
One thing. The next time stuff like this happens, I won't thank you for it. So if I save your life sometime in the future, don't thank me either. It goes without saying for friends to save each other. I'm sure we'll be helping each other from now on. It's nothing special to help your friends. So it's lame to say thanks each time for something that goes without saying.
Yeah, this is the world I'd always dreamed about. The world I long to be a part of, but assumed I never would. I didn't think someone like me could be a part of it.
And mind you, Ikago's eyes are just like pouring, starting to massively tear up.
Killua, I, I, I could die satisfied now.
Huh? Why are you crying?
I mean, I'm nobody.
You know, another thing. The world you're going to stick your neck into is much harsher than the world of chimera ants.
And mind you, Killua gets very serious because his eyes go a different color and they get beady.
Risking your life and throwing away your life seem alike but are two totally different things. People who live at the brink of death never think of throwing their lives away. Only those who can take perfect care of their bodies and then drink poison that's barely under the lethal dose at any time without hesitation can survive. That's what it entails. Do you still want to come?
How do you always know what to say? I've seen a glimpse already. Heh, stupid question. All I see is paradise. I've gotten a taste of what it could be like. Sure, I'll go and leave my old life behind. And now I know that even I can belong there.
As Killua and Ikago head off to meet with Gon. Then we get back to Gon, who's with Shoot, and Melio.
All that's left is Palm.
Still can't contact her?
No.
Probably still in the palace. But wouldn't Pito Zen have detected her by now? Then Shoot. She could be in the underground hangar. Its passages extend over 5 kilometers, beyond Pito's range. But she won't be able to get out because the exit is inside the palace. Then we get Morel. How's Nove doing?
He's unable to continue. But he was able to plan his exits, so there are no changes in the plan.
Nove is completely done. Just being in the presence of that aura broke this man to the point where he's useless now. He can't do anything now. Him being in the presence of that aura terrified him to the point where, hey, Kyushu, sorry, I had to take care of some things. Where are you by now? Oh, we're on chapter 255 right now. We're on chapter 255. But Nove being in the presence of this aura terrified him to absolutely no end. He can't do anything. He's not wearing the upper half of his suit jacket no more. His hair's disheveled and unkept. He has refused to put on any shoes anymore. Him being in that palace broke him. He doesn't want to do anything.
How's Nove doing?
He's unable to continue. But he was able to plan his exits, so there are no changes in the plans. We have 3 more days.
Then we cut back to the palace with the king still playing Gungi.
That's mate.
And the girl is still playing. And Shao is still looking. I think this is Shawapoof. Shawapoof?
She's at her mental and physical limits. The king will win the next game or the one after.
And the king is looking at the girl. And then he gets up and leaves.
Take a break. We'll start again in half a day.
I can...
I would not enjoy beating you when you're weak. Get back into top shape.
And then Shawapoof is looking at the king going,
The king went back on his word?
This girl is a liability.
and it shows the king walking away, and then Shawapoof just looking like, this is a concern. He's showing concern for this human rather than killing them outright. This girl is a liability. But that's the end of chapter 255. Onwards to 256. Chapter 256, 2, Part 2. And it's just Shawapoof in there with the girl. and she's making her way out.
At this rate, this girl will cause problems.
And while the girl gets closer and closer, he lifts his hand. And all of a sudden, the book he had in his hand was falling, and he apparently stopped himself.
Well then, if you excuse me.
And it shows that he had to physically restrain himself.
I mustn't act in haste. The king went back on his word merely to be true to his creed. Defeat the Gungi champion at her peak, to prove his own prowess. If I got rid of her now, the king would know only defeat in Gungi. Through death, she will forever be an unbeatable god.
And then Shawapoof just starts wailing and crying, and it's like handsome Squidward flailing around when he was about to trip and his face go back to normal.
I was such a fool. I almost let a thoughtless impulse leave a hideous, irreparable scar on the king. The only way I can make up for this is with my own life.
And he just starts playing his violin. he just starts strumming on his violin, still wailing.
After I see through that the king reigns over the world.
And while he's wailing and crying, I want to say Thuthuyupi, I want to say that's the right chimera, is just looking at Shawapoof, confused. Then we cut to a different location as we have Killua and Ikalgo caught up with Gon, Shoot, and Melio.
7 people will storm the palace from Nove's Nen Mansion. Me, Shoot, Gon, Killua, Melioron, Ikalgo, and Morel. The chairman will be coming from outside Pito's End, so he'll be a few seconds later. We'll use that time to lure away the royal guards from the king. Gon, Killua, and Ikalgo will be in front. We'll suddenly show up in the middle of their camp. So what will they instinctively do in their surprise?
Ooh, that came out of nowhere, sorry.
So what will they instinctively do in their surprise?
Protect the king with their own lives.
Right. A formation like so.
Showing the guards guarding all around the king. Not that the king needs guarding.
It won't be easy to knock him back.
And then Melio speaks.
That's where I come in. I see. 2 surprises in store.
And then they continue to talk through the plan.
Right. So, any questions so far?
Then Gon.
About Palm. Can we find out how she's doing somehow?
She's either dead or lying low. If she got away, she would have called us, and she hasn't. If she's been discovered, she'll kill herself. She knew that going in.
For us to try and find her is an insult to her resolve.
Hey, you're being too harsh. Gon was just worried about Palm. That's a rookie's worry. Say what? Still such a brat. If Palm has been captured alive, we can assume they know about our plan.
Will be like, if Palm had been captured alive, we can assume they know about our plan. We'll be like moths to the flame.
Yeah, dead the instant we arrive. There's nothing we can do anyway. We gotta trust Palm. You got a point, but Gon is trying to say that it's still possible to change plans if Palm's in that situation. You're too soft on him. If you leave it to him, the mission's top priority will become Palm's rescue. And he'd ask us how to do it.
And everyone looks at Gon because they know that Killua was right.
Look, I know you're worried, but forget about her until it's over. The split second it takes to be distracted could lead to our downfall. We still have 2 days. She could still call us in the meantime.
And then we cut back to the palace as the king continues to play Gungi.
What about moving to the right to escape?
Let's get back to this cavalry. I would have been more bothered had I been poised in the center after the attack or defend. You can't always brazenly advance. It lets me read ahead too much.
I hate being passive.
And then they continue to talk to each other about Gungi and strategy. And then Shiapoof speaks up.
Sire, what? This is a private matter. Just say it. The national rally is in 2 days. There are more people to process than initially anticipated. But the weather looks good, ensuring a smooth sorting. And get to the point. Immediately upon completion, we would like to accelerate our program towards unification. That all? Do as you please. Yes, sire. So our departure should be right after. Don't make me repeat myself. I leave it to you. Keep out until I call.
And then Shiapoof just looks disgruntled. And now he's outside with Yuppie.
He chased you out too? Well, it's only until he wins. You said only a few more games, right? No. Huh? But that's what you said just a while ago. The king is indeed improving at a ferocious rate. But so is she. I'm unable to predict it anymore. It's just a matter of time, right? I hope so. Sure, no need to worry.
And it cuts to Pito.
I'm positive he's acting alone. The same guy who killed Leol. Welfin reported the soldiers were smoke puppets. Their complex behavior certainly kept me in a fog. He uses fewer puppets than I do, but they're of higher quality.
And Pito is twitching.
I want to fight, but I can't leave my post. I wish he'd come to me.
And then Yuppie is looking at Pito, who's just like meowing in frustration that he can't go fight the person who brought down Leol. Then we got back to the plan.
We'll sneak into the capital. The enemy will be seeing through Morel's ruse about now. With us moving around, their sole perpetrator theory will go down the tubes. Then, when people start the march to the palace, we'll vanish. They'll assume we've blended into the crowd to assassinate the king, so their vigilance will turn to the crowd outside the palace. And when we suddenly appear from inside the palace, boom! The king's gotta be here, in the throne room on the 3rd floor.
And this is Killua thinking back to all of this.
That's where he'll watch the sorting. Will he? Really? Something's not right.
And then it cuts back to what appears to be the ground, and it has numbers etched out from 10 all the way to 1, but 1 hasn't been etched out yet. Oh, this signifies that we're 1 day. Yeah, this signifies that we're 1 day from the sorting. They've been counting. And that's the end of chapter 256. Onwards to chapter 257. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait until we get to the real nitty-gritty of the stuff that's about to happen in this arc. And now we're outside the palace, and the king... Oh, wait, sorry. Chapter 257, 1, part 1. Literally 1 day away from the sorting. And the king and the girl are still playing Gungi.
Soldier, 213.
Cavalry, 451.
Duke, 872.
Bow, 433.
Or is this her? No, I think this is the king going,
Soldier, 213.
Cavalry, 451.
Duke, 872.
Bow, 433.
She continues to relentlessly attack my weak areas. Her perception is getting sharper. Cavalry, 211.
Captain, 661.
But it's not suffocating. In fact, I find I'm enjoying it. It's because she's guiding me into that style of gameplay. Proof that she's still far above me. How much stronger will she get?
Dear leader? I feel weird.
And her movements start to feel different than before.
It doesn't stop.
Nen.
These wonderful plays are flowing into my head like a flood. I know I can be even better.
She's about to get even stronger. That's game.
And I remember this kind of scene in Hunter x Hunter, the newer one. Yeah, that's the anime that I watched beforehand, but it was several years ago, and I only watched Hunter x Hunter through one time, and I've never rewatched it. And it's a good thing I haven't, because I want the manga to refresh my memory of everything.
She's about to get even stronger.
So it looks like she's awakening Nen for her to do these games, and he knows that she's about to get stronger.
That's game.
May I take a little break?
First time she's asked. Is something wrong?
No, sir. I'd like to record out the moves that are coming to my head.
With those eyes?
Oh, I just need to lay out the pieces. I never forget a play if I physically arrange the pieces.
All her plays? Ever? Stupid question. All right, go.
Sir,
And as she starts to move away, he goes,
Hey. Your name. What is your name?
mine?
Who else?
It's Komugi, sir.
Komugi.
And may I ask what dear leader's name is?
My name?
and this is the first time that the king is looking a bit bewildered.
What is my name?
Pito.
And then, yeah, the king calls for Pito, and Pito immediately launches.
Yes, at your service.
Poof.
Saya,
Yuppie.
I was wrong! Yuppie is the big dude, and, oh wait, I was right. I was right. Wait, I was right. Because I was saying Shiapoof is the dude with the chimera with the butterfly wings. And Yuppie is the big hulking one. I was right! I was so unsure, but I was right.
Poof.
Saya,
Yuppie. Yes?
is anything the matter? And there's silence, and then the king looks at Shiapoof and goes, Shawapoof, and goes, I keep saying Shiapoof, but it's Shawapoof.
Poof. Saya.
Yes, you are Poof.
And then all of them are looking confused. I could say the same. Preferably, I would read the manga rather than rewatch the show. Hey, I'm reading the manga because at least the manga keeps going after what happens at the end of the show, which I still vaguely remember. Don't even bother trying to remind me, because I just want everything to come to my recollection during that time. But everyone is looking confused at the king's questioning.
Then, what is my name?
And they're looking kind of confused.
With all due respect, sire, you are the king. The one and only. Nobody else. There are countless impostors who claim to be king right now, but we will remove them all, so that the entire world would think only of you whenever they hear the word king.
Mind you, Poof did not answer his question. He's not talking about the title the king has, but what the king's name is.
That may be the premise, but king is a title, not a name.
Ah, there we go.
Well, Yuppie, I am not equal to the task. I cannot possibly provide an answer. Pito?
And Pito's smiling. Always.
Huh. How you feel personally is the most important. Perhaps you should choose a name that is most suitable for yourself.
No matter. It won't be too late to choose a name after sorting. First and foremost, we must ensure the process is completed smoothly tomorrow.
And the king doesn't say anything. Mind you, there's this silence, and he's just staring off.
Sire, if something is bothering you, let us know. That's what we're here for.
Then the king.
Komugi's whole body was bathed in light. Komugi? The blind girl. He bothered to learn her name? She was awakened to Nen. She will improve dramatically. Only in Gungi, that is. Pito,
Sire!
what would have happened if you had sorted her with the methods you will use tomorrow?
She would be dead. We use a method that selects for people with the mind and body capable of being a soldier. Only those with high combat potential will survive.
Sire, please. I learned from Komugi that different kinds of strengths exist. On the way here. Please, don't say any more. I killed a child. Sire, don't say it. It's not becoming of you. It's not appropriate. She perhaps could have one day been superior to me in some aspect. The king must be absolute. And I plucked off that bud. Do not repent your own actions. For no reason. Ever. Please. Just like that. Sire! Not another word!
And it shows the king, I don't know if he's showing remorse, but he's agitated that he snuffed out a light without realizing whether it could reach full potential or not. After playing endless amounts of Gungi with Komugi. And it shows all of them. It shows all of the guards looking at the king as he has this crazed look on his face. And then it makes it seem like a bird is flying away in the distance. And that is the end of chapter 257. Onwards to chapter 258. Okay, all right. Chapter 258, 1 Part 2. And the king is laughing.
I nipped a life in the bud for no reason. And what of it? It means incredible power. I swoop in, unjustly crushing the countless other fragile strengths, trampling and destroying them with ease. That is my power. Violence is the ultimate force in the world. I failed as a royal guard.
And then Pito's just looking like,
Yeah? Why?
I jumped to a conclusion way off the mark and almost insulted the king. I was foolish enough to fear that he was perhaps repenting his own actions.
And then Yuppie.
You always think too much.
Yes, that is all.
But it's true. The king changed since that girl got here.
Yes, that is a fact.
If she's a problem for the king, just kill her.
Was I really thinking the same thing as you?
Yes, my power stands at the world's zenith. Other frail and delicate strengths mean nothing. Merely dust on the road.
And he still thinks of Komugi.
Komugi. The girl is the same. It's only Gungi. It's just a game after all. A flick of my hand and she'll be reduced to a pile of flesh. She is kept alive on my whim. If I changed my mind, I could kill her right now. What is holding me back? I was only killing time until sorting after all. And that's tomorrow. It's time to end it. I've had my fun. I have no more need of her. Let's kill her. Right now.
And the king walks into Komugi's room, and she's being attacked by a bird. And she's only merely shielding herself. Until the king comes in, and he basically just swats the bird. And when I say swat in terms of the king, he swats this thing to pieces. A mere swipe of his tail, and this bird is dead.
Oh, thank you.
Why didn't you call for help? Here and here. You're bleeding everywhere. So weak. Such a fragile creature.
Well,
Huh?
it were early in the morning, so I didn't want to inconvenience anyone.
And mind you, it shows Komugi has numerous scratches all over her face and her hands, bleeding from these scratches because of this bird attack.
You're not an inconvenience.
What?
What? You are an important guest. What am I saying? Didn't I come here to kill her just now?
Well,
Why is she crying? Why didn't I kill her?
I'm so sorry. Nobody's ever been so nice to me before.
Why?
And Komugi continues to cry.
How? What is this creature? I do not understand. And me? What? What do I want to do with her?
And then, because the king doesn't understand these feelings, what's that feeling that you feeling? He doesn't understand these feelings he's experiencing right now. He can't comprehend them. Why he went to the lengths to save Komugi from a bird when he went there specifically to kill her because he thought he was tired of her. She had no more use. So why did he save her? But now we're back with Gon, Ikalgo, and Killua.
Let's do a final run-through. Tonight's the night. We have 19 more hours until midnight. Gon and I will go up the central staircase, straight to the throne room. Ikalgo will go down the northwestern elevator to look for Palm in the basement. If you find her, go ahead and escape without us. If the king and the 3 guards are in the throne room, go as planned. The problem is if they're not there. You keep going back to that.
What's the likelihood of them not being there?
Well, it's practically 0, but sometimes exceptions happen.
That doesn't make any sense.
Let's say you thoroughly investigate a guy's daily pattern.
Daily pattern, I was about to say routine. I'm so used to being at guy's daily routine and not daily pattern.
Let's say you thoroughly investigate a guy's daily pattern. He's always at this location at this time. So you pick a day to lie in wait when unexpected events occur on just that day. It happened a lot in my previous job. Stuff that never happens happening on that day. Before, I could just postpone it and try another day when I could be sure to nail him. But not this time. We can't change the deadline and we can't go back once the ball starts rolling. A moment's confusion can lead directly to death. So we have to think now. Plan for every scenario. Even if they're not in the throne room, there's no problem if they're still somewhere in the palace. Pito's End can cover it, and the courtyard with room to spare. So if we feel that creepy aura the moment we enter the palace, it means they're also inside. Then we simply head towards the center of it, and that's where he'll be. But if we can't feel his aura, in other words, if they're not in the palace, or if he's not even not using N, even if he is in the palace.
Not use N to protect the king when they're in the palace?
It did happen the day Nove went. Yeah, that's the biggest mystery. According to Colt, Nove solved Poof's aura. The royal guards always stay by the king's side, so they must have been in the palace. But Pito withdrew all the puppets and his N, left security up to Poof, and Nove snuck in as a result. It's gotta have something to do with his ability. Let's ask Colt. Yeah.
And it cuts to Colt, who's speaking to Gon and everyone. Pito was probably giving someone medical care.
Medical care?
I told you that Pito was the one who repaired Kite. And repaired is in quotations. Thinking back, I don't think he used N then either. Medical care must require considerable focus. So when he's using that ability, he can't use the puppets or his N.
Now it makes sense. Someone, either the king or one of the guards, got injured, and Pito withdrew his N and the puppets to treat him.
But who could hurt them? They're monsters!
And both Gon and Killua just go, true.
Internal fallout? Maybe the king hurt one of the guards.
No, that can't be. Pito would never give someone else care while exposing the king to danger. I'm positive of that.
That means the king himself was the one hurt.
And then we cut to Morel, who's on the phone with them.
I see your logic. But then who in the world could have hurt the king? No way the royal guard would. And the underlings can't even scratch him.
I know, so we concluded.
The king hurt himself? What for?
We don't know, but it's the only thing that makes sense.
We never wondered why Nove got a lucky break. But it was crazy enough of an occurrence that they may be right. Something inside the palace is going haywire. Uh-oh. Now I'm starting to think something's going to go wrong.
And that is the end of chapter 258. Onwards to chapter 259. One more chapter after this, and today's reading will be over. I really hope you all have been enjoying yourself, because I enjoy these readings of Hunter x Hunter every single time we go through them. Let's keep going. Chapter 259, 1, Part 3. And we have someone going over the loudspeakers of the entire city where Morel and company are.
We will now begin the march to the palace. Everyone in Area A1 assemble in the Ming Plaza at once. Residents of other sectors prepare to move out next.
And we get a giant crowd of people all leaving their homes and forming in semi-orderly cascade of people making their way to the palace. And we also see children here because it shows one person pushing a baby stroller with a baby inside.
Wow. They're coming out in droves. The march begins.
Then we get shoot. 10 more hours until we strike.
In 25 hours, at 3 p.m. tomorrow, the area will be packed with 5 million people. Any changes?
Oh, no. Now we cut to Pito.
Any changes?
Used to be one, but now there are several men. Simple.
New enemies, that's all.
It's likely they'll move in under the cover of the rally.
The biggest risk will be during the sorting.
Yes, the king said he wants to participate. The worst case for us is if they take the king where we can't see him. Let's say one of them has an ability to teleport objects, and only the king gets teleported somewhere far away. One of us must stay by his side during the sorting.
He won't like that. Lately, he's been more annoyed when we hover too closely.
We'll have to be subtle about it. Stay alert and inconspicuous, all the while keeping pace with the sorting ourselves. And looking at both Yuppie and Pito, it goes way too big to be subtle with Yuppie, and gets carried away when having fun with Pito. Fine, it's up to me. Process of elimination.
Huh?
What's wrong? And Pito's looking.
Their auras. They're gone. I can't even feel any lingering trace. They're probably using Zetsu and slipped in among the crowd.
Because it shows numerous gunmen being controlled by Pito, just looking at the crowd. But the reality is, everyone slipped inside of the Nen mansion created by Nove. And Knuckle drops in on shooting Melioron.
Hey there. Huge crowd. Must have been 100 people crammed into every house.
They'll have to assume we joined the march when we disappeared. Will they cancel the march?
No, that would postpone or cancel the rally. Which means a compromise was made, or the king was defeated. The royal guards wouldn't let that happen. The rally will be held as planned, tomorrow at 3 p.m., right on schedule.
Then we get back to Pito.
They started moving. My puppets won't be able to tell anyone apart now. Should I recall the puppets?
No, we can't let the enemy roam free. Let the puppets go with the soldiers guiding the crowd as a deterrent. And it shows Morel hiding inside an alcove of a house, watching the crowd go by. And then he slips into a wall that goes directly into the mansion. And he starts drinking some water. This is such a cool ability, creating a mansion out of Nen that you can slip in and out of whenever you want. That is so cool. And you can store things. What I wonder is this Nen ability, if you put food in here, does it basically halt the aging of food? Because maybe time and space is different in this Nen mansion dimension? I want to know, because this is such a cool ability. You could create your own little personal living space here. Like, I could literally just make a doorway right here and go into the mansion, and then I have other stuff. That's such a cool Nen ability. It has such versatility too. Because you could, if you say you were moving, you wouldn't necessarily need to get a moving truck, because all you need to do is just move all that stuff into that space. Mind you, it would take a while. But then again, that's just like a lot of moving. That would be a lot of moving. I'm just saying that this Nen ability is very versatile. I'm sorry. But we cut back to Morel dropping in and drinking some water. Speaking of which,
The puppets went with the crowd, as expected. The sector will be totally empty within the hour.
we have 6 entrances. Oh wait, this is Shoot pointing out the entrances that Nove has created. We have 6 entrances lead into the hole inside the palace. Avoid the ones in front of the palace where their attention would be. So we should wait at A, B, or C. And A, B, and C are the gateways that Nove has created behind the palace. Once we enter those rooms, the only way out will be through the palace. You scared? Are you kidding? I just want to be prepared. It's too risky to wait around close to the palace. But if we enter the rooms too early, we can't get out until midnight. True, we won't know if any new information that we can use will crop up. And we can't use cell phones since the antenna will pick it up. It's too dangerous to wait in the rooms for hours. If something that alters the situation happens without us knowing.
But you said it's too risky to wait outside.
Yeah, don't underestimate their range.
And then someone says, I'll do it. And they all look behind them to see that it's Nove, whose hair apparently changed. His hair color's changed. It's no longer jet black. It's now a different shade. It's either went gray because of all that fear he felt. I'm the only one who can enter and exit the mansion at will. I'll let you know if anything happens. Keep using this room to rest.
Will you be alright?
Keeping watch shouldn't be a problem. I'll be outside Pito's Inn anyway.
But be careful. Pito's Inn isn't circular. It could change shape like an amoeba and extend tentacles. That's what reached Kite.
He touched it on purpose. He wanted to know how tough the opposition was.
Curiosity killed the cat. He underestimated them.
A piece could extend 2 kilometers.
Never touch it. Don't worry about me.
A piece could extend 2 kilometers. Never touch it.
Don't worry about me. I fear them more than anyone here. I won't take any risks. Ever.
Then we get to another location, and we have a person on a microphone going,
We are now heading to the palace. Anyone who gets out of line will be shot on sight.
well, that's not very nice, is it? And they're all preparing to make their way to the palace. People from all walks of life from this entire sector of this nation. They are now making their way towards the palace. Then we get the king speaking to Pito. Pito,
Sire?
You knew Komugi was being attacked, didn't you? Did you not?
Yes, I keep vigilant with my N. But I deemed it would not bring you harm, so I let it be.
and then the king goes,
From now on, keep an eye on Komugi as well. Take appropriate action if anything happens.
and then the king walks away from Pito after just saying that.
Yes, sire. As you wish.
Then, in a this is a really gorgeous double spread panel. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. We get an immense sky view of all of the people making their way towards the palace. And all you see is just a black line from the roads that lead to the palace to the crowd that's starting to form around the outskirts of the palace as well. These are thousands upon thousands of people, but the way this is drawn is very, very good. It is drawn really cool. However, the way the pages are set up, even if you were to line up the line of people who are making their way across, it would still make the rest of the page look a little bit disjointed. So if you were to line them up, the ravine that separates, the rest of the nation, that would be lined up fine. But then the line that makes up the people walking to the palace, that would still be kind of off. So it is kind of disconnected, even if you were to line them up properly. And Nove is watching this entire crowd make their way towards the palace.
Tens of thousands of people per block, marching orderly to the king. Just like ants or lemmings on a mass suicide.
And he's looking around, and he's seeing the sunset.
It'll be dark soon. About time to call up Morel.
And then something catches his attention.
What is that?
Because something is shining. Something is shining in the distance. So Nove gets a telescope. I don't know where he got this telescope with a tripod from, but he looks and he sees something floating in front of the moon.
Dust? Or butterfly scales?
And it's Poof, apparently using his wings to send out this little dust from his wings. To what effect? We don't know. But that's the end of chapter 259. Onwards to the last chapter of this particular volume. This was actually a pretty sizable volume for this reading today. But yeah, onwards to the last chapter. Chapter 261, part 4. And Shawapoof is in the air, just flapping his wings.
The faint breeze carries his scales and blows them towards the crowd.
So then, and he looks into his telescope and he's looking at the crowd, and everyone looks like they have like a dazed, almost mind-controlled appearance to their eyes.
I knew it. Their postures have gone limp and their expressions blank. That dust must have a hypnotic effect.
Stay in line! File into your blocks and stay there! And these are the soldiers screaming this out to the people. Mind you, they're all under this hypnotic suggestion, so they're not behaving in any way. Do not fall out of line! Stay in your blocks and don't move! The monotonous drone of the tank treads, the commands repeatedly drilled into the minds of people exhausted from walking, perfect for hypnotic suggestion. Even when the sorting starts and blood gushes around them, they will obediently keep standing there until their turn comes. Even when people are being eaten alive in front of them, they are still enthralled.
Hypnosis? So nobody could run away?
Oh, wait.
Hypnosis, so nobody could run away? But this is good for us.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Melioron is looking confused.
The crowd won't fly into a panic even if the battle starts to get out of hand, so no stampedes as they scramble to escape. This is a huge deal.
And then Knuckles speaks up. By midnight, more than half the people will be assembled. We were afraid panic alone would cause casualties in the tens of thousands. Our biggest fear is alleviated. We can fight to our heart's content. We have 6 more hours. And then another portal opens up, and it's Scone, Killua, and Ikalgo.
Now we're all here.
Any word from Palm?
No.
Oh.
We'll wait until 11:30. It'll make a huge difference if we can find out what's going on inside.
And then both Gon and Killua are kind of smiling at each other. And Shoot is noticing. They're both so calm. Killua especially. None of the vulnerability he showed when he fought me. In fact, he's brimming with confidence. But then why is it that once in a while, he seems so sad?
Look, it's growing back!
And it shows Ikalgo showing his limb basically growing back to normal. I can't worry about others now. Not when I'm the most anxious one here. Mankind's future rests in my hands. Colt's a good kid. Melioron and Ikalgo are good at heart too. Doesn't matter if they're ants or human. I'd like to think that everyone has a heart. I wish I could duke it out with the king. But we have no choice. We can't stop them. If we don't kill them, they'll kill us. Kill or be killed. And then, likewise, Shoot was mumbling to himself, but now Knuckle is mumbling to himself. And now we have Gon thinking.
Kite. The time has almost come. I swear I'll get you back the way you used to be. I have to take him down.
And it shows Gon just standing there, and he's just brimming with confidence and preparedness as well. Then Killua.
He's raring to go. I'll cover for you. I'll make sure nobody interferes in your battle. With my new move, Godspeed.
And it shows his fingers as electricity goes between his fingertips. Then we cut to Morel.
I feel tired. All the battles in a row are taking their toll. I'm probably at 35% of my peak condition. Well, I can't cry about it now. With Nove out, I'm the only one left. I would have liked to have been at full strength, but if I have no reserves, at least I can resign myself to my fate. Keep my target away from the king. Focus only on that.
And then, lastly, we have Nove.
I'm sorry, Morel. Everyone. I can't face them again.
I'll go check on the palace. And then Nove leaves. Then we have Melioron. We're cutting to everyone's thoughts.
I can hold my breath for a maximum of 2 minutes. Half that would be realistic considering my nerves under these conditions. Shouldn't be a problem. 1 minute will be plenty.
Then Ikalgo.
Almost midnight. My new life begins tomorrow. I couldn't have even dreamt it a couple of days ago. Thank you, Killua. I swear I'll carry out my mission for your sake and celebrate my rebirth.
Then it's nighttime. And we have Pito. Then we have Shawapoof. Then we have Komugi. Then we have Yuppie. Then we have the king.
I am king. But who am I really? Why am I here? For what reason was I born?
And it shows the king thinking this while he's in this ginormous empty void space, which is a good way to save on panels. You have a double spread panel where it's just one character off to the side, some words above, and nothing else. Good.
For what reason was I born?
Time's up. Let's go.
And we have Shoot, Knuckle, Gone, Killua, Melioran, Ikalgo, and Morel as they're preparing for the major fight of this arc.
Palm.
And Gon says this as he walks through the door and he comes up out of the floor as they all prepare to go to the palace. Shoot, Morel, Melioran, Ikalgo, Gon, Killua, and Knuckle.
10 more minutes until we strike.
And that's the end of chapter 260 and the end of volume 241. 1 part 4 end. That's the end of the chapters for today, ladies and gentlemen. This has been an absolutely monumental reading, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in to today's reading of Hunter x Hunter. I had an immense honor and privilege of reading this series to all of you so far. We still have much more Hunter x Hunter to go through. The moment we hit 300, that means that we are officially within the, I want to say, when we hit chapters 305, we'll only have 105 more chapters after that before we fully catch up to Hunter x Hunter's entire story and where the last chapter dropped off. But I just want to say that I've been enjoying every single one of these sessions. And Blue Blur, I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. Ravi, thank you for tuning in. Everyone else who's tuned in as well. It is an honor and a privilege to be your entertainer on this fine Thursday. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Even check out my Patreon because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. And because I know you're coming back anyway. Have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!